Hi guys, last video I released the birds inside their new breeding cages. As promised, I will show you in this video how I made these cages. For the frame of the breeding cage you need chipboard or MDF with a water repellent coating. For one cage you need two boards with a size of 50 cm by 120 cm plus 2 times the thickness of the board, in this case 122 cm. This will be the bottom and the top. One with a size of 50 cm by 120 cm, which will be the back, and two small ones of 50 cm by 50 cm. Because we want to be able to make one large cage out of two separate cages, we have to make an opening on one side of the cage so the birds can fly through. Because we also want to be able to close it, we only make a small hole, just big enough to put a saw through. Now we have an opening which we can close off whenever we want. Next, we want to kit the frame together. Make sure you have the opening on opposite sides of each cage. After it is hardened, we can remove the kit and fill in all the gaps with the filler. This is not only to make it look a lot better because you can hide little mistakes and rough edges, it's also important because it prevents mites and other little creatures from hiding inside your breeding cage. At the top we glue two corner strips to make a small gutter in which we can later place the mesh. This gutter will make it easy to put the mesh in and out whenever we want. Accessibility is very helpful when you need to decorate or clean the cage. We cover all the bare wood with nice strips and also use a strip to hold the two cages together. I use one at the front and one at the opening between the cages. It is already starting to look like a breeding cage. Time to cut the holders for the dividers. I used the same strips as earlier, but now upside down, to create small gutters in which we can slide the dividers. You can use a small board to be sure the bottom and the top gutter are at the right spot. In each cage we will create 2 holders so we can divide the 120 cm cage in 3 smaller cages of 40 cm. Next, the holders for the mesh. The tape is used to know how deep I have to drill for these holders. I use 6 holders per cage to keep the mesh in place. Time for the trays. Due to the dividers, I have to make 3 trays per cage. Make sure the trays fit easily inside the cage to prevent them from getting stuck when some seeds get in between the cage and the trays. I used a thin board for the bottom with on top 1 cm thick borders. Again, cleaned it and filled the gaps with filler. I get the front on top of the tray, with on one side a little overhang which will hide the dividers. Because this is the part which will endure the most pressure, I put in the corners some extra mounting material for extra strength. At last we put some extra corner strips at the bottom of the cage to make sure the trays glide more easily. And some corner strips just above the trays to prevent sand and seed to get between the trays and cage so the trays will not get stuck. The mesh can now easily be put into place and the cage is done. A cage with a size of 2.4 meters, which I can divide in multiple parts of 40 centimeters. which will give me the freedom to create all different size cages. And now of course it's time for decorations, so the birds have more elements to investigate and play with. And that's it. Now I'll make 2 more cages for the bird gallery. Hope you can use this video to make an awesome cage yourself. Like this video and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and remember, be happy and always love your birds. Bye bye!